thinking about the legacy that leave behind future generations, wondering how national recognition shapes Bahamian pride and identity. Pause, think about it with intentional thought, and consider where we go from here. Stay tuned and hear what Order of Merit companion Iris Dillet Knowles got to say about inspiring a nation and building a lasting impact. You will gain insights into how a commitment to excellence and services can shape a legacy, inspire a community, and ignite pride in Bahamian heritage.
Something to think about with Dale Happy Knowles. What we think, we become. What we radiate, we attract. What we imagine, we surely can achieve. Let's change the narrative, 242.
Welcome to Something to Think About with Dale Happy Knowles. And this evening, we have this beautiful lady on the screen who, gave me all my looks. I took it all. I took it all. The rest of them didn't get none. So you will see what I'm talking about in due time. But welcome, Iris Dillet Knowles, Mummy IDK.
Thank you. Happy.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed your day so far, because we're going to have fun tonight.
Okay, Doc. Good stuff.
So, folks, I'm going to post this young lady's bio on the page later, but her profile is so long. I thought that we would have a better way of dealing with that. And so we wanted to touch base with showing this is a special occasion that we're talking about today. And so when we look at that, we want to first and foremost honor those that honor is due. And so if we can, we could just pause for 2 seconds and give honor for my children's grandmother, my mother, one of them. I'm down from 5, now I'm down to 2. Yeah, I have 2 left on this 8 to share with me. And so it's Mary Elizabeth Mackey. I know her, I call her Betty Mack. And she passed on the 18th of this month.
May her soul rest in peace.
Amen. So, IDK, how's you be?
I'm good. And how are you?
I'm in one piece, and I need to go back to this, yes, to that. All right. So, when we look at this whole thing, I wasn't supposed to do that. When I think of you, I think of this quote here that says, a leader is best when people barely know that he exists. In your case, it's she. Not so good when people obey and acclaim her. Worse when they despise her. Fail to honor people, they fail to honor you. But of a good leader who talks little, sounds familiar? Mm-hmm. Then when her work is done, her aim fulfilled, they will say they did it ourselves. So, I see a lot of you in this quote. You are one who I know from way back, who are extremely quiet, unassuming, very much missionary driven. Whatever was that mission, that passion, that goal, you were driven to achieve that, no matter what obstacle came in front of you. And along the way, I think a lot of people learn from you directly or through osmosis and whatever else. And so, besides being Mommy, I thank you for that service that you give, but more so I got to thank you for me, right? Because without you, it ain't no me. Yeah.
You're very welcome, Happy.
Cool. So let's start with this but I think it should be the easiest question because the title of the show is "How Does It Feel to Get a Bahamian National Honour?" Considering that you were one who always shied away from being in the public domain and the limelight and wanting any of these accolades of sorts. Even though when people read your profile, they will see that there's a million one of them that at least would be put on the paper because there's more. But let's ask this question of you. So let's take this off the screen first and foremost. But then let's ask this question of you if I can find my page where I went just now. Can you share a defining moment in your journey that shaped your path towards this recognition?
You know, Happy, I grew up with my mom and her friends, Mrs. Adderley, Mrs. Eldon, Mrs. Toot, who were always doing good things for other people. I guess it rubbed off on me. Because, you know, I don't do things expecting to be recognized for it. Every morning when I say my prayers, I ask the Lord to take my hand and show me what He wants me to do. Then let me get out of His way. You know, the Bible says, so humble yourselves under the mighty power of God, and at the right time, He will lift you up in honor.
Awesome. Well, I guess it's the right time because, I mean, He lifts you up to the public, whereas, you know, He's always lifted you up to us. But so, and what way to do it? Skip all them other things and just go straight to the big thing. Kaboom. Kabam, kabee. Awesome. So another one that came in here was how have Bahamian culture and values influenced your achievements and approach to your work life?
How have my Bahamian culture?
Yeah, being Bahamian and absorbed in what we do.
Well, you know, I guess it started with the Professional Secretaries Association, which we started to help secretaries to grow in their profession, as back in our day, secretaries were looked down upon by other professions.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and then you also have, well, there was a culture that we had in the Bahamas where women didn't have much say, right?
Yeah.
And then you all had children, you all from the MRS group, which for the longest I couldn't figure out what they were standing for, and then it clicked with me one day, you know, and I said, boom, okay.
Yeah,
That's
the
married women.
MRS group was formed because a lot of us got married at the same time. And
This is in the 50s.
We didn't know anything about taking care of a house or taking care of children. And so if you were a member of the MRS club, you were doomed to not say anything outside of a meeting. And only one lady got put out of the club, and she should be nameless. She talked something outside of the club, and she wasn't supposed to do that.
And
But,
then you
know, we grew up learning from each other how to take care of little children.
Yeah, and then you took care of bigger children because you all were part of the women's desk and what do you say here? The Secretary Association, the women's desk, that's for the UN Zonta and so forth.
Yeah.
So how did those things impact?
Well, You know, when I was a member of Zonta, Dr. Perry Gomez was put in charge of handling the AIDS stroke HIV section of the Ministry of Health. And he asked Zonta Club of Nassau to take over the funding of this sector. Hence, we formed the AIDS Foundation, which, among other things, funded the drug AZT for pregnant mothers who had HIV/AIDS so that their babies wouldn't get it. It reduced the number of babies born with HIV/AIDS to 2%.
Wow. That's a big thing.
Yep.
Okay, and so now, go ahead.
Then the Committee for Social Services, which was the volunteer arm of the Ministry of Social Services, we did the exploration work for the ministry to check out all the homes that were abandoned for abandoned children, like Ranfurly Home, as social workers were picking up babies off the church's doorsteps and the like. I was a member of that committee leading, and that led to the development of the Elizabeth Estates Home for Children.
And then, yeah.
And so after I became chairman of the Committee for Social Services and president of Zonta, the Committee for Social Services assisted Zonta in having 2 candlelight vigils on behalf of the United Nations, who were internationally promoting the Convention of the Rights of the Child. That drew attention of the Bahamian government, who then signed the convention with a proviso, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, with a proviso, because they were already caught up in something else. You know?
Yep. Cool. All right, so then we have what challenges did you encounter along your journey here in life, and how did you overcome some of those? What were some of the big challenges? Because people think this is just a walk in the park.
Well, when I worked for Burma Oil Bahamas Limited, there were 90% foreign staff. And 3 of us, the managing director, the director of the terminal, and me, we put our heads together and developed a training program for Bahamians to eventually take over the operations and maritime departments. That has been most successful. Because like Macarius Roll is now in charge of the terminal, the maritime affairs at the terminal.
Cool.
I guess he needs us to come back, because he told me the other day that his staff all left to go elsewhere. And so it's only him one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, I
And
guess,
sorry, I was going to tell people the terminal which you're talking about is the terminal Equinor, what
Yeah,
we
right.
last knew about
Yeah.
in South
Yeah.
Riding Point, Grand Bahama.
right.
That
In the
has
Eastern
been
End.
around since 1972 or 3, somewhere around there.
Since 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I joined Burma in 1973,
Yeah, and they were
and it
building
was
it just
under
before that.
construction at that time, you know?
Yeah.
And Mr. McFarlane, who was the managing director, I asked him what was I supposed to do because I didn't know the first thing about oil or the transportation of oil. I was a secretary in a bank, and he just said to me, keep your eyes and ears open and respond appropriately.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you have so much here that we could be talking for about 2 years because you have the Anglican Church work that you did. You have the um, the tour guides work. Then you have all these different awards that you be getting. The help desk, the this, the that. But I want to bring on somebody who was very proud. Not the proudest one because I have to take thing on that, but very proud, and you know this person very well, and hopefully we'll be able to see them at some point. But right now, I think they're in a place where you could only hear the audio. Welcome, 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 Miss Gary.
Thank you so much, Happy. And may I add the congratulations, Iris.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
The brown, those little sunflowers, the brownies, the guides, the commissioners, the leaders, the president, the vice presidents, and all the council members, and then all the former girls you had in 19th Nassau brownies and guides. And these children are now across the Bahamas. So my congratulations come and our immense pride at this honor bestowed on you from the girls in, I'm so pleased to say, in Grand Bahama, in Abaco, in Eleuthera, in Andros. Do you know we just had another group at it in Andros, in Exuma, in Long Island, in Inagua, and of course, New Providence, the hundreds of girls for whom you provide a real example, Mrs. Knowles, for who you are first, for those behaviors, that living out of the law, it's the duty to God. And I heard Happy talking about all the wonderful things, your role in the church, your role as a professional, and how you use those skills as a secretary to ensure the formation of those groups. And the groups achieved objectives larger than yourselves. And you are not mentioning all of that you would have done every week, preparing and meeting those girls where they are and taking them through that 8-point program and knowing what it is to serve God, to serve their country, to respect the others, and to live by a code of ethics. And Mrs. Knowles, you have done that for all of 47 years. And I think you provide just the example. They say awards are given so that they serve as inspiration to other people, that they too can see that wherever they are, whatever they do, that they are inspired by your work, and they too will engage in activities, whether it's for as long as you are, whether it is for as varied as you have been, whether as influential or as supportive. Because Happy, what you all don't know, Mrs. Knowles has been the honorary secretary of guides, and how she manages to record accurately all the long meetings and all the decisions that we have made, and write all those letters we have begged at home and abroad, and big business and small businesses, to ensure that we have adequate money to not only build our new building, but to run our programs, to help manage our campsites, and to do it all. While we know one of the parts of the law says a guide sings and smiles under all difficulties, and a guide is self-controlled in all she thinks, says, and does. Sometimes I think she is an angel, and good example for us who are impetuous and impatient and need it done. But each time she provides that example. And you know what? She is transgenerational. We see her now as filling the role that people like Barbara Brown, Miss Kelly, Miss Granger, Betty Gold, Miss Davis, that they filled. And she is of that class, providing that kind of example for the rest of us, so that when she moves off the scene and I move off the scene, here are the younger ones who look up to her and have the example. The word and the deed. They say it's better that we see a sermon any day than to hear it.
Yep.
And Mrs. Knowles has been that sermon. Um, Managing the technology, and all through COVID, we were able to progress. All through the wonderful fundraising experiences we have had, contacting the person she knows, using her own time and her resources, and getting the resources of her family from overseas. I'm happy you didn't tell me when I can stop. Anyway,
Yeah.
what
Okay.
I want to say is that Mrs. Iris Dillet Knowles exemplifies, in terms of behavior, in terms of action, in terms of words and deeds, that which we want for all the nation's children, not only for the girls, but for all the children. And she has no idea what her personal support means to us. At a funeral the other day, I didn't see her, and I sent her a note to say, we looked for you, we didn't see you, but we know how busy she is. She has so many things. And then she named me all the other causes that she is supporting with her presence. She is the kind of person to whom national honors should be bestowed. We thank you, Mrs. Knowles, for all you do. You have no idea what you mean to us, whether it's going to the campsite, whether it's looking at headquarters, whether it's those two groups of leaders now who are in our new building, going on with training sessions, and then all the other things that we have planned. You've been so much a part, and we thank you. And Happy, I thank you for doing this.
Oh
It's
boy.
the right and proper thing to do. And I don't know with Danielle, but now, she's a partner. So I thank her in her absence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We can hear from Daniel in due
Elma,
course.
Yes,
Elma, I
ma'am.
just want to share with you that I found out the other day that Reverend Michelle Roach, what's your name? Hubbard,
Hepburn,
had
yes.
started a brownie pack at St. Jude's Church in Grand Bahama.
Oh, yeah.
Melanie.
Yeah.
Melanie wrote it. Not Melanie.
No,
And we
no,
have
Marie.
pictures of her.
Marie.
Yes,
Yeah.
Marie.
And so I thanked her at a funeral the other day. She came into Nassau for a funeral.
Mhm.
And I was thanking her for starting the brownie group. I said she'd take after right after me.
Yes, yes. Herself and
Because she
Michelle.
was one of my brownies,
Yes,
And
Yes.
she said, of course, you
Yeah.
know, that's what
Carrying
you
on the
do.
work in
That's
a
what you do.
special way.
All right, but I know when y'all two get together, what can happen. So, Ms. Gary, the question on the table for you is how are national honors determined? You mentioned a lot of things already, what I would have thought you would have answered in this. But
Sure.
just fundamentally, because some people were asking, what do these things mean? What's the significance and so forth and so forth.
Sure. Well, in addition to the formal criteria as set out in, I am sure, whether it's the Act of Parliament, but set out in legislation, I'm sure, that people would have contributed to the development of the country, whether that development is in their own communities, whether it's through their jobs, whether it's through their association, whether it's through their work, that these are people whom someone, a lot of people don't understand that the recommendations must be made, that someone must know that this person has made a difference in the lives of persons, in the lives of their organization, in the lives of their country, and of course, submitted. So, all those persons who are listening to your program tonight, and happy as much as you can, is to spread the word that some people very quietly, like all the people, many people, because Mrs. Knowles is, for a better word, I'm going to put in the category of the hilltoppers in New Providence. And so people know her. And I'm sure many know of the varied contributions. But unless someone takes the time, an organization, write it, outline it, support it, and then submit it. So I think more people must take it upon themselves to gather the information, the evidence, and submit it to the committee so that the persons whom they knew have given over and beyond the call of duty are recognized by the nation in this special way.
Awesome. And one other question is, what aspects of a character stand out and would be
You know,
what people would want to, what you would want, what we would want as a Bahamas to see our citizens emulate so that they could grow to these heights.
I think most importantly, our citizens who are honored in this way should portray the values as set out in the preamble to the Constitution. Everybody should be honest, trustworthy, truthful, have initiative, helpful, do the best they can with others, be people of integrity, be good stewards of whatever gifts God would have given them, and in whatever environments they find themselves, and to do the best they can, and not shouting it from the hilltop, but doing it because it is the right thing to do. And it is not the quantity, it is the consistency of the quality of those lives. And that this life isn't known just to one or two, but there are others from varied spheres within the community who can say, yes, they know that Mrs. Knowles worked hard to ensure that children who had HIV/AIDS were given treatment, were integrated into the school system, that those mothers took their medication to prevent a mother-to-child transition, that the work they'd done to ensure that the country signed on, even with provisions to the Convention of the Rights of the Child, that all children should have an education. It doesn't matter what nationality they are. And that this is just not compartmentalized because the person is in church or the person is in this little group. No, it pervades their life, their lifespan. Those are the people we are looking for. At least those are the people that I know in guiding that we are looking for to put forward, to be an example, and that their lives must inspire. You see, we need more people to inspire others to the volunteerism. No one paid Mrs. Knowles extra for all that she has done. And the award, unlike the awards in Europe, they come with $5,000 and $10,000. These awards simply come with a public recognition. Yes. And it is the volunteerism that our Bahamas, and doing something bigger than yourself. I think if it is one thing our awardees should have, is that people know, yes, I have done my work, I've been creative, I've been innovative, I've been productive. But I think it is the doing something for others beyond yourself and doing it with others, understanding that no one can achieve these national standards of examples all by themselves.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we thank you, and we know your time is limited, but if you want to hang in and listen in to the rest of the show and maybe to a job here or there, whatever, you're welcome to. But I want to bring in now some a person who holds you in very high esteem, Madam No Less. And they be right under your nose and you don't even know, right? And so forth. And so one is somewhere, probably traveling somewhere, and the other one is now right here on the screen with you. And the other one, I ain't call your middle name, Knowles, but he's a DCK too, so don't mind that. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me, man. Grammy,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm surprised to see you.
I'm surprised to be here too.
Cool. So, what you got to say? What you got to say?
Man, I could be like Miss Gary and have a whole episode about what I can say about Grammy. But I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. There's one thing I can say about Grammy for sure, that she might not even know that I actually be thinking about this, especially on Sunday dinners or after Sunday dinners. Your care for the world and your viewpoints of the world compared to how I see the world currently, it gives me hope. It continues to fuel me to try emulate what you did and currently are doing, as far as like being so loving, being so caring, being so positive, even though the my world out there is very negative. And that really sticks with me throughout my weeks, so that's basically like the main thing I would like to say. I know you probably don't know, because during our discussions I don't show that type of side, because I'm trying to I guess figure out perspectives, from when you was growing up compared to that world that you grew up in compared to this world I'm growing up in now. So like that patience and caring and love that you always displayed in me, regardless of how crazy the world is, that's very big and major for me.
Thank you, Dev. I'm always concerned about you and your thoughts about the world. And this is why I share the world with you that I grew up in, because you could compare it to what it is that you are growing up in. you know?
Right.
So that's why I share all the stuff with you, information with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I appreciate it. You're welcome.
Yeah. So some of your young shy bug, Miss Knowles. These other children of yours seem to have the same bug. Because they I don't know where it is, but anyhow.
Oh.
Dev,
Yo.
can you share a personal story that highlights what Grammy's commitment to her values and community means to you?
I
If
guess
none,
besides
say.
the Sunday, huh?
I say if none, then that's fine
No,
too. But
no. I
yeah.
guess besides the Sunday dinners, I guess me and Grammy walking in her backyard and having
In the forest.
conversation, huh? Yeah,
In the forest.
in the forest, in the jungle, having conversations and just always just going back and forth of each other's perspective on life. That's basically the main thing. Really isn't that much really personal stories. We have so much conversations that I'm always just looking forward to the next one. I don't really, spend too much time on the past, but it's there. When it pops up, it pops up. But I'm always looking forward to the next conversation or the next experience or the next memory with Grammy.
Cool.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Deb.
And what was inspiring and uplifting about her? What do you try to emulate or try to get from your experience?
I guess the main thing is community based. I feel as if Grammy and George Mackey have a lot of similar traits when it comes to community based projects or industries or groups that they are part of. And I actually was downtown today at Rawson Square seeing Prime Minister Brave talk to the kids about history. And, so those things, always talking about history and always talking about current things that's going on. That's what she really inspires me to continue to try push that forward and continue to spread that type of knowledge and new knowledge to our community out here.
Dev, your grandfather, George Mackey, and I went to Government High together. You didn't know that?
Yeah,
We entered Government High, and then he left during the last session,
right.
Because his dad died.
And I don't have this here just because of the show. Everything who gave me this just never left my desk. So.
Oh.
The
talk that he gave to my committee for social services,
right,
at the Red Cross Association,
right. So
the Red Cross building. Yeah.
I still have it. It's right on my desk, my working desk. So
okay,
I see it every day.
Okay. But he was responsible for the Committee for Social Services,
Right.
When he was Minister of Social Services. So they had invited me to join, and I told them that I wasn't going to join because I had so many other things to do. Right. And they said, but please join because we want different people to be involved in this volunteer arm of the Ministry of Social Services. So I joined them.
Cool.
And that's another thing. two of you all show me these things. Pops usually is tell me it verbally, and Grammy is just show me it through our actions. Tide is a mindset. So regardless of how you feel, if you still have the ability to show what God gave you, your God-given ability is to show people a positive impact on their lives. It's always good to can still do that, even though you might be tired or you might be overwhelmed with a lot of life that's going on. So I'm going through that right now. I'm tired as hell, but I'm here. So it's all good.
Yeah, but tiredness never kill nobody.
No,
Thank you, Dev. Thank you for
Alright.
all that you've contributed to my being here, my continuing to be here.
appreciate you too, Grammy.
So, Ms. Knowles, in what ways do you believe that your achievements will continue to inspire Bahamians?
Well, I really hope that, the things that I do would inspire other people. I saw a note just now from Lavon Clinton, who was a brownie guide. She
Yeah.
just said to me, "Congratulations, Mrs. Knowles. You were an awesome brownie guide leader. Thank you so much, Lavon Clinton Taylor." And then Gina Mansfield, Val's daughter. She said, "Thank you so much for being my Girl Guide leader. I loved being there during my young adult." So,
She's still young.
she would be happy that you said that. Happy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Cool.
And all the other people like Marie Roach, Reverend Marie Roach Hebben. When I said to her, you follow it in my own footsteps, she say, what better footsteps to fall into? When she formed the Brownie Guide pack at
Right.
St. Jude's Church.
Cool. Yeah.
Real.
All right, cool. Well, folks, if you don't have any questions, do ask them, or you want to make a comment. As you see, some of the chat people were making the comments, and we post them up. And like I said, and if you want, so your only daughter.
Yeah, I don't know how to get on.
You don't know how to get on?
No.
I sent you the link, Daniel. Just click on the link. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being
Not in that room. You gotta go in a different room. Yeah.
I loved being there
Huh?
during my young
Go in a different room. Yeah.
Go
Across echo. Yeah. So, as I was saying, if you have any comments or the like that you want to, then be sure. Gina is saying hi to Daniel. But question I have for you would be is how does your family legacy contribute to Bahamian society? Because you normally follow. They ever talking about following what you and George, my beloved, did. So you would have followed somebody else, possibly.
Well, I said earlier that I followed after Mummy.
Okay.
But, Daddy was also a person who used to help.
But he was dead quiet.
He used to help in a different kind of way. If he was building a house for somebody and they couldn't pay him, he would hold on to another piece of property that they had. And then when he finished the house, whether or not they paid him or not, he would give the property back to them.
My. Yeah.
And he also did a whole lot of that kind of thing. you know, building for people and not charging them for something or the other, you know. Because I remember the Kellys, they had him build a, what you call it, a wall by the ocean, a seawall. And then the sea knocked it down while he was building it. And they offered to pay him to rebuild it. But he rebuilt it without accepting the money that they were paying him, you know?
Yeah. Well,
So, you know, he was that kind of person, you know, also.
yeah. So I see where that's coming from. Good. I guess, you know, the good Lord say, you know, when you give, you get back more. For whatever multiplier that you give.
Yep.
And so forth. So I guess Daniel got lost somewhere.
Daniel,
But,
so she's trying to get on.
she ain't trying to get on. She didn't click on the link I sent her, but anyway.
But you
All
know,
right.
I quoted you from the Bible.
Yeah.
It says, so humble yourselves under the mighty power of God, and at the right time, he will lift you up in honor.
Yes.
Okay?
So where do you go from here? What's next for you? Is anything? I know you weren't looking for accolades and the rest, but your work, you don't seem to stop, because even to the day when you were going for this award or this honor, I said to you that this is going to be like a 4 or 5 hour ordeal. And knowing what happened last year when I went on behalf of somebody else, Louis Anchel. So when I looked at it, you still at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning was up doing things, and wait up to almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you were still doing things. You don't know how to just sit down and don't do. So we're gonna be next.
Well, I have written a book about you and your cancer.
You did?
I need to have that printed. I don't have the money to print it.
You need no money. They'll get all the money.
I'm still writing the book about Burma Oil Bahamas. And the other day at Val Campbell's birthday party, Alfred Sayers came over to me and asked me if I'm writing the history of my family.
Oh, that reminds me. Yeah.
So he said that he would pay for that book.
Okay, Happy. Mocha and I are here to say we love you, Mommy, and we're proud of you. This is as close as we could get to getting online.
I don't know what you're clicking on, but that's fine. Yeah. So what you want to say to her?
Sorry?
I said, what did Daniel want to say to you? Anything?
I just said it, that we love you, Mommy, and that we're very proud of you.
Okay.
And you're an excellent example for all of us. And see, Dev is also telling you the same thing that I'm saying. That's from generations, like Ms. Alma said.
Okay.
Generations.
Thank you.
I had a question in the chat that your good friend from Chippenham,
But Chipmanite.
Yeah, son wants to ask you. I was trying to get Brother Georgie Battle earlier today, but I don't know what happened. Been trying to reach him, but I can't find the question. He asked something about the impact of Chippenham had on your life.
It had a fantastic impact from the swamp days to the fact that we live behind the fort, and that we could walk out to what's his name? Sanders Beach to go in the sea.
Yeah. I found the question. It says, what role did being a product of Chippenham play in formulating your strategies for success. Good Jack for the second.
Everything, because we were a family in Chippenham, not just a community. It was a family of people, and so everybody, your parents didn't have to beat you. The people in the neighborhood could beat you if they see you doing something wrong. So we grew up like one big family. And so everybody had an impact on all of the children, So I'm lost for words to say.
Too much love, too much love.
Hmm?
Cool. So,
What did
that's
Gina say?
Gina said. Gina said, kindness, wished I had met him, meaning Pop-Up, Eddie Dillet. And Olga was always busy in the big house. Great memories had there.
Like mother, like daughter. Eh?
Yeah. Except for my grandmother's a row. You ain't doing it right, she can row you. I guess that's where Auntie get that from, but yeah, all of that makes you go. So, what advice would you offer Bahamians aspiring to be impactful in our society?
Just do whatever your mind tells you to do, and don't expect anything, any acknowledgement of it, but just go ahead and do it. Whatever it is your mind tells you to do that's uplifting to the community, to the society, just go ahead and do it. Don't bother with whether or not you're gonna get gratitude or whatever for it, but just do it. If your mind tells you to do it, go ahead and do it, because it will be appreciated. You don't know how much it will be appreciated from the other people, by the other people. So just go ahead and make your contribution.
Cool. Okay. So, what else? I've said a lot of questions to you, and people talk on your behalf. But is there anything that you like to say to the Bahamian people, the 242, the people out there in Africa and New York and Canada, and the rest of them who are watching this show right now?
I would say to you that, whatever it is on your heart that you would like to do for somebody or for a country or for whomever in a foreign country, please go ahead and do it. You'd never know how much it would be appreciated, because the people wouldn't say that they appreciate it, and so you don't know how much it's appreciated by them. But it is appreciated, So just go ahead and do it. I really don't know what else to tell you.
That's fine. That's fine. Cool. Well, folks, we want to thank you, Madam Knowles, for bringing up the tree that you put and the 50,000 that came along that you didn't. And whether they were through guides or they were through the PACE young pregnant mothers, young mothers programs or whoever it was, people who you touch, you've had an impact on many of them. And some of them can't even come on the screen because they're scared they can cry, right? But anyway, that's another story. So thank you there for also joining, and we hope to see you all soon. So some goody grubbies and so forth.
Yeah, man.
And conversation.
Yeah, cool.
Good to see you all again, family.
All
I
right.
know how it go.
Good. So, folks, you've been watching Something to Think About with Dale Happy Knowles, and this evening we highlighted a piece of the good life of Iris Rosemarie Knowles Nee Dillet, Order of the Merit Companion in the Bahamian Honor Society. Man, there's some letters and things behind it. You know, I only graduate, thank you, Lordy, and so forth. But anyhow, that's another story. So one day, we will all be there. Let's keep going out, being strong, doing what we know is great, and the things that we need to do, as the good madam said, to help other people. Until next time, next week, when we'll have another hopefully provocative and interesting conversation under the tree. So, see you then.
Enjoyed the show? Then subscribe to us for more educational and inspirational content. Ring the bell so you never miss a show. Let's change the narrative 242